Interest rates rising, housing prices dropping, rental prices higher than ever, looming thoughts of interest rates rising again. What do we relay to our clients, and how do we answer the tough questions in this market? Because although at the time of this video, the market hadn't faced adversity in a while, this is going to happen X amount of times throughout our careers as realtors. And if it's a buyer, seller, or balanced market, communication with our clients is essential. It seems even more so right now with these big, huge negative headlines our clients might be reading daily. This is only one front page. The affordable housing crisis, real estate market will crash, space is getting smaller and why that's a big problem. Pure negativity is what the consumer is unfortunately reading daily. That was just one front page of a popular news source. Crisis, crash, big problems. All they do is sell negativity, and us as marketers, we do know that that does work. We're left now as realtors or soon to be realtors to rationalize unique situations for our clients and come to a decision that best suits their needs. That part is everything because there's such a variety of people in different situations in their life and in this market. In this video, we'll first talk about who this affects most, who this doesn't affect, the two main pain points the consumer cares about in this market, and at the end, what to say to them, what to relay to them. First, if you find these videos helpful though, consider liking and subscribing. It means an absolute ton to me, but let's just dive right into the video. First, who this affects the least. In Canada, there are a lot of homeowners that own their home outright. The outright home ownership rate in Canada is roughly 35%. 35% of people in Canada are mortgage free and are barely affected by what is happening in the market financially wise. Because if their house value went down in value since the beginning of 2022, okay, that could be true, but what does that mean? This outright homeowner, let's say, owned a home that was worth $1 million in this market that's now worth $800,000. Okay, they are completely mortgage free, but what are some moves they could possibly be making? Let's say they are downsizing, for example, and quick note that downsizing might be a really good niche if you're a brand new agent to start in with boomers in the position of their lives to possibly start downsizing. That could be a really good niche. Just quick tip there. But if the downsizers are selling their $800,000 house in this market now, let's say it was a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, for example, and they're now looking for smaller space for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Well, that house as well has decreased in price, and let's say that house is worth $600,000. Not only did it not affect them, but they now have $200,000 more to invest or spend. Another one we could see that did happen during the pandemic often, and we're still seeing today, people moving away from major cities to more rural areas or quieter areas where they get a bit more bang for their buck. Again, this is only a lateral move because house prices have adjusted accordingly in, let's say, both areas. This is all true for complete homeowners, but it's still valid and capable for homeowners that still have a mortgage. If they have a mortgage rate that is now higher, okay, so that's not great for sure, but if they're in the same situation where they're downsizing and they're buying a home that's less expensive, they'll now have less debt and they can find themselves in a situation with a similar or a less monthly payment. Of course, maybe less will unfortunately be going towards the principal with a higher mortgage rate, but they still have an affordable mortgage monthly payment that they are used to paying. So downsizers, lateral movers in general, and buyers and sellers looking to move out of major cities to get a bit more bang for their buck. But another example of another type of homeowner that maybe even didn't see any decrease in value in their home is the luxury space. As traditionally, interest rates don't affect affluent people as much as they can afford the higher monthly payment. So transactions are happening daily. You just need to be in good communication with your clients to relay this information. Personal phone calls, drop-bys, weekly emails, of course, social media are great ways to stay in communication. Okay, on to who in this changing market gets affected the most. And I'll only touch on this one for a second, but it's homeowners with interest rates, fixed interest rates that are maturing, meaning they will soon have a higher monthly payment due to interest rates rising that I hope they are preparing for and anticipating. Like mentioned, I'm only going to touch on that because there could be a whole video on that being an issue very soon. But the main one still of who it affects most, and it was the same in a heavy seller's market, is the first-time home buyer. This is why when a client asks you if now's the time to buy, sell, or enter the market, make sure you ask them and are in great communication with them about their long-term goals for themselves and their family. Never try to time the market because it does not matter over the long term. All first-time home buyers that were complaining about house prices being too high in, say, 2022 of March are now complaining about interest rates being too high and they can actually afford less. If we use, for example, like we used before, that $1 million home turning into a $800,000 home, but now interest rates rising, well, that buyer, unfortunately, might actually be able to afford less due to their monthly payment and the interest rates rise and their buying power decreasing. So this market still does affect first-time home buyers the most. Just make sure you stay up to date with all incentives for first-time home buyers and try to tell your clients to not time the market. Traditionally, you're not going to buy your dream home on your first, second, maybe even third house purchase. In my opinion, just get in the market and start small. If your client can get in the market and build some equity in a property by the end of the year, in my opinion, it's better than paying high monthly rental costs if they can make it happen. So the two main pain points in this market, and you're probably well aware of and you've probably guessed by now, are housing prices decreasing for homeowners and interest rates rising basically for everyone. First one, as discussed, if your clients bought a property in March and their house has decreased, just try to remind them that this is a long-term investment and it's only essentially paper money unless they plan on moving out next year. As far as mortgage rates, try to make sure that you interview 3 to 5 really good professional mortgage brokers and try to find 1 to 3 that you can recommend to your clients. Try to get on a mortgage broker's email list to stay up to date with all of these interest changes. And if your clients are ready to make the move or trying to enter the market, get them in there to see that mortgage specialist to find out their financial situation and if it's the right time for them. If we leave this video with just one thing to relay to your clients, and it's basically the theme of the video, is that each buyer and seller situation is a little different, it's a little unique, transactions are still happening daily, understand what the goals are of your clients long term and act accordingly. Try to get your clients to take action, or better yet, not take action if that's their situation. But if you can, just try to relay information to them because they're always going to be reading these big, juicy, daunting headlines. I really hope this video helped, guys. And if you have any questions at all, you can DM, email, comment on this video. I get back to everyone. My name is Callum Moore, eXp Realty real estate agent here in Ontario, and we'll see you in the next one.